effort. Next, I call upon Shri P of grade 5, a confident girl and a graceful dancer, to the stage to declamate the speech.
Good afternoon everyone. My name is Shri and I'm from grade 5 Kailasha Jati. Today I am going to give a speech by Captain Lakshmi Sagar, the fearless doctor of India. Actually, the very first time that I saw Subhash Chandra Bose was in Calcutta in 1928. And he was the head of, during Indian National Congress, he was the head of the Congress, Save All Volunteers. At the time, I was 15 years old and I accompanied my mother to the Congress. But many of us young people used to slip away from the house early morning and go to my town and watch him firing his volunteers and teaching them how to be smart and efficient. When I finished my MBBS, I also did the postgraduate diploma in DGO. I didn't want to join government service and private practice for a beginner was very difficult. At the time, there was a move in Britain to recruit women doctors also into the Indian medical service. They later did. I was very afraid that I might be forced to join that. So fortunately, I had many relatives and friends in Singapore. And one of my very close cousins was like a sister to me, was ill at the time. She asked me to go to Singapore to see her and I could help her anyway. So that's why I went to Singapore in 1940 and I started practice there. And going to Singapore was a big eye-opener because for first time I felt what to be like an Asian, not an Indian but an Asian. Because there's such a great difference between Asian and non-Asian. To see whites, the British, and there were so many places that were formed into Asians. Among the Asians, also Indians are the lowest rank. And all of us, the civilians and people who are not in army, were rather worried about what was the future.
And it was then
that many senior INA officers, of which my late husband Colonel P.K. Sagar was also one of them. They pursued as Brigadier Force to put pressure on Japanese to bring Subhash Chandra Bose from Germany to East Asia because they knew it in Germany. In Europe, he had no role to play at all, but here he had a lot. So it was 1943 in July that I first really came in contact with Subhash Chandra Bose. From the moment that he had arrived, I was questioning the people around him that I wanted an interview. So then that I told that he himself was looking for a woman to organize some work that he had. And so my name was given and I went in. He spoke to me for about 5 hours and he tells all the history about independence movement of India. He always remembered, there was a gentleman, I think it was a Britisher, who defeated Rani of Jhansi on the battlefield of Gulliver. And in memory, he had written, if there had been 1,000 women like Rani of Jhansi, you would never conquer India. Because the way she found such a determination and such courage, I had hardly never experienced. So Rani Jhansi, Regiment was formed and I was given charge of it. We started with 300 and we grew to 1,500. We gave the same training that infantry soldiers were given. And addition, we had nursing corps of also 200 women. And we had some women who trained in sort of clerical jobs. We were trained in Singapore. We had another camp also in Rangoon. From Singapore, we went to Burma. And I was lucky. Of course, I came along with plane. But the members of Richmond They came by the railway, and on the way they were warned many times, and they had very narrow escapes, but they all managed to arrive. And after from Rangoon, we proceeded to go further straight into. We get right to Imphal, but we didn't get right into Imphal. Midway at Mandalay, we have to turn back. While we were retreating, it was mainly guerrilla action with British guerrillas. Be dropping the plane, we have to encounters with them. This arrow of Netaji we still carry on because he is still regarded as the most well-meaning presence in Indian public life even today. You must remember that one half of civilians who joined INA were from the South India. So those people and their descendants and decided they had never allowed Netaji's memory to fade, and they have to keep it alive. And they told their children and they told their people he's all the time looked up to, and people feel that he was the leader that we wanted. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri. It was a very clear and confident debate. Now,